Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Be the air we breathe. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Free us to receive. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Be the air we breathe. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Free us to receive. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Be the air we breathe. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Free us to receive. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Be the air we breathe. Meet us in the stillness, Lord. Free us to receive.
Hello and welcome to this time of reflection for the week of October the 29th through to November the 4th. I'm really grateful to be back in my chair and offering these reflections once again. I've been away for some study leave and away at some meetings out of town, and so I'm very pleased to be able to be back with you again. I want to begin as we always begin when we gather in this place by acknowledging that we are here on the traditional and unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, the Squamish, the Musqueam, and the Tsleil-Waututh nations, and we speak this truth about the land that we are gathered on as part of our journey towards reconciliation with Indigenous peoples, between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples, because reconciliation always begins with the speaking of the truth. And I'm grateful to be speaking that truth in this place today, in the hope that the journey of reconciliation between us, between settlers and those who were first on this land, can be moved ever so slightly closer to a place of wholeness and healing. This last week, we started a series at the church entitled Life's Big Questions, the pandemic version. We've engaged in this series, or launched this series, because it's been certainly my experience over the last stretch of time that people really have been asking really big questions about their own lives, about the world, and about God, our understanding of the Bible, our understanding of Jesus, our understanding of human suffering. And so we thought it would be good just to kind of take some of those big questions and begin to reflect on them. Last Sunday, my colleague, Reverend Carla, reflected on the question of, do I still have a purpose, in the midst of all that's become unraveled in this time of the pandemic? What is my purpose? And she reflected on our God-given gifts and the way that those God-given gifts are not situational. They're in us, they're given to us, we have them, no matter what our life circumstances bring to us. And so I invite you to tune into that reflection. It's on our YouTube channel, and you can have a look at that, as well as the reflection shared with us by Flavio Caron, Indigenous educator, a couple of weeks ago. Those are there for you to view. One of my favorite big questions that's being asked these days has to do with the apocalypse? Are we actually living in the midst of an apocalypse? And that's the question that I'm going to be reflecting on today. But for now, let's begin as we always begin as well, by lighting a candle to remind us that once there was someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things that people followed him. They wanted to know who he was. And once when they asked him who he was, he said, I am the light of the world. And in our community of faith, we would say this light is in each and every one of us, that we all are manifestations of the light of the world. We all are the light that shines in the darkness, the light of the world. This light unites us with one another, even when we're not physically present. It animates our living, and it guides us in the way of Jesus, the way of peace, the way of compassion, and the way of justice. So, apocalyptic literature and the word apocalypse, it's such a great word, and it seems like it's one of those words that we pull out and use in the kinds of times that we're in right now, because it just has the power to kind of encapsulate what we're feeling in cataclysmic kinds of time. So whenever there's a cataclysmic event, it's really usual for us to speak about it in apocalyptic terms. But the word apocalypse doesn't actually mean a cataclysm. It actually means, if we translate it from the Greek, it means a revelation or an unveiling. It means that something is being shown to us, a truth is being revealed. That's why the book of Revelations in the Bible is called an apocalyptic book, or a book of apocalyptic literature, because it's meant to reveal, to unveil something to us. Jesus also uses this language when he speaks of the era, the times that he and the people of his day were living in. And of course, there's many prophets in the Hebrew scriptures that also use apocalyptic language and apocalyptic vision. And so I want to share with you today a reading from the book of Matthew. I'm reading from the 24th chapter and the first 8 verses. And as I read these words that are attributed to Jesus in Matthew's gospel, I invite you to listen for a word or a phrase that shimmers for you or that resonates. As Jesus came out of the temple and was going away, his disciples came to point out to him the buildings of the temple. Then he asked them, "You see all of these, do you not? Truly, I tell you, not one stone will be left here upon another. All will be thrown down." When he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will this be, and what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age?" Jesus answered them, "Beware that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Messiah,' and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All this is but the beginning of the birth pangs." The church often, regularly actually, uses these readings, these apocalyptic readings that are found in the Gospels. They're used during the season of Advent to prepare us for the birth of Christ, for the coming of peace, the coming of a fulfillment of a promise that the world might be made new. It seems, in my way of looking at things in the world right now, that it seems more clearly to me, maybe it's more true to me now, that in order for something new to be born, there really and truly does need to be a rupturing, a tearing. And that tearing is like a big truth telling, a big revelation. So we might say that with some confidence that these actually are apocalyptic times that we are living in, because these really challenging times that we are living in, when so much seems to be coming apart in our world, they are showing us the truth about systems of domination. They're showing us the truth about our interaction with the environment. They're showing us a truth about the way that we have treated one another with inequity. And it's kind of all right at the forefront right now. I'm just aware that as I'm saying these words, world leaders are gathering for COP26, right? The environment, cyclone bomb, atmospheric rivers, forest fires. It's all right in our face right now. And I really heard the words of Jesus in that reading today saying, truly, I tell you, right? This is the truth about how new life comes into being. It comes into being when it comes to world structures. It comes into being through a great telling of the truth. And that can be very hard, and it can be very scary for us to live through when we've lived with kind of the comfort of, sometimes the comfort of denial. It may have been a comfort for some of us, but we can be guaranteed that for many people, it's more comforting for them to hear the truth being told during these times, as hard as that may be for all of us. And so one of the things I would like to invite us to reflect on this week, really two things really. One would be, what's a truth about the world and the way it is that you are grappling with in these days? What's a truth that's been revealed to you, maybe not for the first time, but perhaps in a deeper kind of a way that you are appropriating in this time? And the second question would be, where are you catching glimpses of the new that is emerging? In the text, Jesus talks about all of this going on as a birth pang. In other words, something is trying to be born in our world. Are there places where you are catching a glimpse of something that is wanting to be born? It may be that those two questions for you resonate on a global kind of a scale, on an environmental kind of scale. It may be that those questions resonate for you in your personal life. It may be that you've been going through an apocalyptic time in your personal life, a time when there's been lots of things being stirred up and a truth being revealed that's been painful and difficult. But can you see a way that something new is being born into that? I hope so. That's the promise of these apocalyptic times that we are in, that in a truth that is revealed, a promise, a new beginning will emerge. May it be so. Watch very carefully. I'm going to change the light now. Now, this light that was in this one place, it really truly is in each and every one of us. And we are called and encouraged to go out into our troubled world full of apocalyptic experiences and be the light for one another. Amen.